Welcome back to Folks Solo Sports Show. Alright, let's talk about James Harden getting traded to the Brooklyn Nets. You cannot excuse this anymore. He can't make excuses now. There's no reason, there's no excuses to make now that James Harden finally gets what he wants and gets traded to the Brooklyn Nets from the Houston Rockets. Now, it wasn't a championship or bust for the Brooklyn Nets before when they just had Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving along with Dinwiddie, LeVert, uh, DeAndre Jordan, and the other guys. When it was just KD and Kyrie, it wasn't championship or bust. I didn't think that they were going to go to the championship. I think the 76ers were going to go, and I think they were going to beat them in the Eastern Conference Finals. But now that James Harden joins them, this is championship or bust. After all that he went through to get to this team, they need to win the championship this year, or it is going to be a no-go next season. And I don't think that they're going to want to play with each other if they don't win this season. Which brings me to a point, I still don't think that they are better than the 76ers. I still don't think they will be better than the 76ers. I think the 76ers still are going to beat them in the Eastern Conference Finals with Durant, Harden, and Kyrie Irving. Now, if they do get past the 76ers with that loaded team, Ben Simmons, Embiid, uh, Howard, Danny Green, Seth Curry, and the other guy, I can't think of his name right now, Tobias Harris, all of those guys, and all the rest of the guys on that team. If they do get past them and make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, that will be and the Lakers get there on the other side. This will be the hardest championship, the second hardest championship LeBron has ever had to win if he has to face that team in the NBA Finals. It will be better than the one he just won and better than the two in Miami. It still won't be better than the down 3-1 against the Golden State Warriors, but it will definitely be better than the other three. And even though I say that I still think the 76ers are better, the reason why it will be harder for him to beat the Brooklyn Nets is because he's already faced Kevin Durant in the finals 3 times and lost twice, won once. But Kevin Durant, of course, was on the super team when LeBron lost to him those 2 finals in a row. And you can say LeBron was also on the super team, but people try to say it's the baby Thunder. Okay, they got that far. LeBron already has been to a championship when he played them, but he didn't win. That was the first championship he won. He been to 2 championships when he played them, but he lost both of them. So you can say what you want, but I still think they could have did better than 4-1. They didn't have as much as excuse. Westbrook, Harden, and Kevin Durant didn't have as much as an excuse as LeBron did when LeBron lost his first finals because it was just LeBron. Okay, when they lost, it was all 3 of them. So he has a bigger excuse for losing his first finals than Kevin Durant. But this is why it will make it his second hardest, maybe even his hardest championship to win. Even it might even really be harder than coming back from 3-1 if he has to play these Nets. And it will be harder playing them than the 76ers, even though I think they're better. First point, because like Kevin Durant, like I just said, about the history with LeBron, playing him in 3 finals already. And then you got James Harden, who hasn't played LeBron in the finals, but has been to Western Conference Finals and has almost got to the NBA Finals. Has played against Durant, has played against LeBron, played against Kyrie, all not in the championship, but played against them sometime. And then you got Kyrie Irving, who won a championship with LeBron. So he knows some trick plays that LeBron has. He has to after playing with him 4 seasons. He probably knows better than all of them what LeBron's thinking because he knows more than Kevin Durant does, even facing him in those 3 finals because he was on his team for 4 years. So that's going to be very difficult for LeBron to get past, and he's really going to have to come up with some new things to get past them, and he's going to have to come up with some new things with Anthony Davis to be able to eliminate them and win his 5th ring. With that being said, the only reason that they are doing this is to beat LeBron. LeBron came to the West, Golden State Warriors. Well, they didn't fall off because they went to the championship, but LeBron also got hurt that year. Not to say he would have beat them. He would have probably went to the Western Conference Finals. But Kevin Durant went to the East. You got Harden going to the East. And Kyrie never was in the West, so he's just been there the whole time, okay? But you got all 3 of those guys now teaming up, just like the Golden State Warriors did. Some people think they're better even individually as players. As Jay Williams said, they're the best trio ever. I would highly disagree. I was listening to Rob Parker and Chris Broussard. I have to disagree. The best trio ever, like Rob Parker said, I would agree with, is Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman. Okay? And that's only who knows, they would have probably won 5 or 6 championships with Rodman. Pippen and Jordan probably have 3 more with Rodman if they all stay together longer and all the BS doesn't happen in Chicago and they all stay together longer. I think the Bulls win more championships. So that's the best trio ever. And I would say also that you got Parker, Duncan, and Ginobili is a better trio than this trio will be. When you start talking about ever, Jay Williams said they're the best trio ever. When you start talking about ever, that's a big statement. They're not better than Jordan, Rodman, and Pippen. They won't be better than Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili. They won't be better than Bosh, Wade, and LeBron because they're already older than what all of them were when they played together. So they won't have a chance, even an opportunity, unless they do something crazy and three-peat with with this year and the next 2 seasons that they're together, which I don't see happening because there will be too much competition, and I think it's going to be the same sort of case and kept with Kevin Durant going to the Golden State Warriors, how he felt left out and he didn't feel like he was part of the team really, even though he was there getting finals MVP and winning championships with them. And I think that's going to end up being the same case here with the Brooklyn Nets. They will be one of the best teams, maybe the best team, but I don't think it's going to overcome the Miami Heat, Bosh, Wade, and LeBron, the Spurs, Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker, the Golden State Warriors, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, and Curry, and not the Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman trio. Definitely not that. It won't even come close. Okay, so big statement by Jay Williams. We'll see how this turns out. Hopefully Kyrie comes back soon because they're definitely going to need him as soon as possible so they know what they have to do. They have to start knowing how to play with each other right now. Kyrie cannot miss any more games if he wants to win the championship with Harden and Durant this season. He needs to be there at every game, and they need to build chemistry right now, and they all need to play at least 30 to 35 minutes on the floor, each of them, so they can be the best team. If not, and they load management and missing games, one of them's missing games and two's playing, 2 of them's missing a game and one's playing. If they do that, it will be the same scene as the Clippers, and everybody thinks that they're already the NBA champions this season, and it won't happen. So they need to build chemistry right now. They need to get Kyrie back on the court. KD and James Harden need to get Kyrie back on the court so they can start building right now. As for the rest of the NBA, with having this competition now, I will say there's no competition in the East left for the Brooklyn Nets except the Philadelphia 76ers. That's it. There's no more competition in the East for the Nets after this. Okay? Um, the 76ers, I think, were a little bit above the Nets, but now they're tied up with the Nets. I still think the 76ers will be the better team, but now they're tied up as far as who's better. It's even now. The West, the competition that they still got is the Lakers, and nobody seems to be paying attention to this, but the Pelicans will be competition to the Brooklyn Nets. And we're going to make a video even about that on the Pelicans being contenders and possibly the Lakers' biggest threat at the end of the season when it's time for playoffs, okay? So I got the Lakers and the Pelicans being Nets competition on the western side, and on the east side, it's only the 76ers left, okay? I don't see any other competition from there. It's not gonna be enough. And the Lakers have to be the ones to do it. Even if the Pelicans beat the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, they won't have enough experience to go up against the Brooklyn Nets in the NBA Finals. Now, if they played the 76ers, even with two NBA champions on that team, I think they can beat the 76ers in the championship because that is another young team. Their superstars are young, so they can beat them. But if they have to play the Nets, there's too much experience on that team, and their superstars are, they're not younger, but they're not 40. They're not 40, and they're still playing very well, and it just won't be enough on the court to get past the Nets. So the Lakers have to be the ones to do it with Anthony Davis, LeBron, Gasol, Schroeder, and all them guys. They have to be the one to do it, and Lakers at this point need to be in the gym 2 hours longer than every other team if they want to win now this championship against the 76ers or the Brooklyn Nets, especially the Brooklyn Nets, because like I said, if they have to face them, this will be LeBron's hardest championship ever, and this will raise his GOAT debate very, very highly. Like, this is going to be, like, at that point, if he beats that team, I don't know how you can say he's not better than Jordan. All right? For all y'all guys that like having that conversation, I don't know how you can say it at that point, because that's going to be, if they start building chemistry early and get together, this team how it should be right now, and none of them miss games and they're all playing a lot of minutes every game, this team is going to be ridiculous. And if they do that, they won't even have, they'll become better than the 76ers also. And the 76ers will be the only competition, but it would still look like big brother, little brother. All right? This is Folk Solo Sports Show. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Is the Brooklyn Nets now the best trio ever? Do the Lakers still have what it takes to two-peat against the Brooklyn Nets? And do you think that the 76ers can still beat this team in the Eastern Conference Finals? This is Folk Solo Sports Show. Get in the comment section, like, subscribe. I'll get back with y'all, man. Peace.